Bonfires are lit to celebrate special occasions, and the people in today's video certainly have a lot to celebrate, because these are the top 15 biggest bonfires in history. Number 15. Aggie Bonfire. Whether it's football, basketball, or any other sport, school spirit in the United States can get intense, especially when it's time to play a game against a rival team. The Aggie Bonfire was a tradition at Texas A&M that occurred around the same time as their annual rivalry game against UT Austin, representing a burning desire to defeat the other team. In its final year, the 1999 bonfire was enormous, at nearly 60 feet tall and consisted of 5,000 logs. Unfortunately, the bonfire collapsed in the midst of construction, killing 11 students and 1 alumnus, and causing many more injuries. This caused the bonfire to be officially canceled. Number 14. Sankthan's Bonfire. Midsummer is a European tradition that has been celebrated for millennia, with customs varying between the different European nations. And since the summer sun might not be hot enough for Norway, they have a tradition of lighting bonfires along the coast. Already earning a Guinness World Record for a bonfire in 2010, a group of people celebrating the Norwegian Sankthansdagen, a midsummer tradition remembering St. John the Baptist, Norway broke their own record again in 2016. The 2016 Sankthan's bonfire was constructed out of wooden pallets and reached a height of an incredible 47 meters. For comparison, that's half as tall as the Statue of Liberty. Number 13. Scheveningen Bonfire. In the Netherlands, New Year's Eve isn't something to take lightly. While people all across the world set off New Year's with champagne and all-night-long parties, the Dutch really turned the heat up a notch. In Scheveningen, Netherlands, it's right on the beach. A giant bonfire is lit every year between Christmas and New Year's Eve. But it isn't your average bonfire that you might throw in the backyard with some friends. This bonfire was nearly 9,000 cubic meters in volume. Ignited on December 31, 2015, the fire gained a Guinness World Record for being the largest bonfire ever recorded in terms of volume. Number 12. Lustenau Bonfire. In Lustenau, Austria, a small city of only 22,000 people, the world's largest bonfire at the time of its creation was burned out of a wooden tower. In March of 2019, a group known as Hofstadtler Funkenzucht Lustenau organized the burning of a 60-meter tall bonfire as part of a Lent tradition in the Austrian province of Vorarlberg. The event has been going on since medieval times. The bonfire was initially supposed to be 58 meters, but it rose an additional 2 meters while it was being built out of spare wood. The Lustenau bonfire claimed a Guinness World Record after defeating the Norwegian Sankthan's bonfire that was lit in 2016. According to the event's organizer, the amount of wood it took to build the bonfire tower came out to be an astonishing 100 tons. The construction of the bonfire took about 20 people and custom 50-centimeter-long nails. Number 11. Sede. When it comes to bonfires, few can match those who celebrate Sede, as they throw some of the best and biggest bonfires you could find on a holiday. Sede is a holiday celebrated by the Persian people that dates back all the way to the First Persian Empire, some 2,500 years ago. The festival celebrates the 50 days before another significant day, known as Iranian or Persian New Year. In fact, the word Sede itself translates to 100 and points out that there are 100 days and nights left before the arrival of spring. Thus, Sede occurs in the middle of winter, and it's full of festivities and tradition. Because of the event's nature as a midwinter festival, the bonfire plays a significant role in its meaning. Fire is not only symbolic of light and warmth, but it literally provides them. An enormous bonfire is lit on this event as a way to conquer the cold and darkness of winter. Number 10. 11th Night. Every July in Northern Ireland, which is part of the Ireland that's under the sovereignty of the United Kingdom, enormous bonfires are lit across the region. The 11th night is the night before the 12th of July, an annual festival celebrated by the Ulster Protestants. These giant bonfires are often joined by marching bands and street festivals. The bonfires themselves are gigantic and are often made up of wooden pallets, tires, and other burnable objects. In addition, items related to Catholicism, various effigies, and flags of the Republic of Ireland, which is not part of the United Kingdom, are burned. The bonfires are lit in revelry of King William of Orange and his victory over the Catholic King James II in 1690, which allowed Protestantism to flourish in Ireland. The 11th night has been widely criticized. Many people describe it as sectarian or promoting of ethnic hatred and furthering the divide between the two Irelands. Number 9. St. John's Eve. Each year on the night before feast day of John the Baptist, which is a celebration of the biblical figure's birth, Catholics and Lutherans across the globe join together not only for processions and feasting, but also to light a massive bonfire in remembrance. This night is called St. John's Eve, and it occurs after sunset on June 23rd. Sometimes referred to by participants simply as Bonfire Night, this flame-lit event occurs about 6 months before Christmas. As the New Testament book of Luke says that John the Baptist was born 6 months before Jesus. The key moment in the celebration across many different cultures is when a large bonfire is lit. Participants then take turns running and jumping over the fire, if they can make it. It must be rather challenging as those who celebrate the holiday don't take it easy when it comes to lighting bonfires.
We're constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button.
Number 8. Bonfire Night, Canada. Every November 5th, people across the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador gather to celebrate around massive bonfires. But these bonfires weren't always just for burning trash or getting rid of wood. They commemorate 400 years of tradition that started after an assassination attempt against the English monarchy known as Guy Fawkes Night. But the tradition in Canada has evolved from Guy Fawkes Night. Rather than focusing on the old tradition, Bonfire Night in Newfoundland and Labrador has become about having fun outdoors, socializing with friends and family, and of course lighting the biggest and hottest bonfires of the year. Bonfire Night isn't just one large bonfire, it's tons of them scattered across the province. Many of these bonfires include effigies or items representing those responsible for the original act of terror. Often, the people in Canada set off fireworks in addition to their giant bonfires, adding extra firepower to an already blazing event. Number 7. Tag Bonfire. At this event, known as the Tag Bonfire, a stack of wood and kindling piled multiple times taller than the average adult is set ablaze by a flaming arrow. As the bonfire erupts into a raging fire, the crowd chants enthusiastically before beginning an all-night party that lasts until the morning. The Tag Bonfire is also known as the Tag Fall Cave-In because it takes place in an area that's known for its abundance of caves and limestone formations. The word tag, that's T-A-G, stands for Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia because the area is located where the borders of the 3 states converge. The Tag Bonfire has attracted cave explorers from across the country for the past 34 years, and the event offers an exciting weekend of cave exploring, hiking, and meeting new people. The event has a vibrant community and has a vendor street where cavers can obtain gear, food, and other items. Still, the bonfire is more than just a big party in a bunch of caves. Every year when the attendees gather, an organization known as the Southeastern Cave Conservancy Incorporated raises tens of thousands of dollars to go towards nature conservation purposes. Number 6. Up Helly Aa. Up Helly Aa is a traditional festival held in the first quarter of every year across Shetland, Scotland, to mark the end of Yule, a paganistic holiday season historically observed by the Germanic people. The Up Helly Aa festival is a procession carried out by groups of torchbearers and other festival goers. The largest event, which takes place in the city of Lerwick, is attended by approximately 1,000 geysers, or costume participants, who march down the streets of the city in celebration. In the end, Up Helly Aa culminates in a massive bonfire, but it isn't just any bonfire. Before heading off to a long festive night of partying, the geysers set fire to a large Viking ship by throwing their torches at it. As the ship burns down, they sing a traditional song known as the Norseman's Home. According to etymologists, the word up in Up Helly Aa refers to the sense that something is reaching its end and is derived from Old Norse. Heli is a word for holy day, and Aa refers to the word all. Thus, Up Helly Aa means a variation of up or end, holy day all. Number 5. Donald Trump Effigy. Every year, the Edinburgh Bonfire Society in the United Kingdom selects one politician or public figure from around the world and builds a massive effigy in their image. And each time they do so, they attract media attention from around the world for their interesting constructions. Their annual bonfires occur annually on Guy Fawkes Night, an event that celebrates the survival of King James I during an assassination attempt in 1605. In 2016, just days before the U.S. presidential election, the Edinburgh Bonfire Society burned a 36-foot-tall wooden effigy of the then-candidate Donald Trump, holding a severed head of his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Event organizers said that selecting Donald Trump for 2016's effigy had overwhelming support from community members. The 2016 presidential election was known as a particularly divisive and tumultuous time in American and world politics. Donald Trump, who went on to be elected the 45th U.S. president, was an insanely controversial figure. Naturally, burning an effigy in his image attracted incredible amounts of media attention. The Edinburgh Bonfire Society has created a large-scale effigy every year for more than 2 decades and has burned numerous controversial figures, including Saddam Hussein and the British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Number 4. Starwood Festival Bonfire. Every July, all across America, New Age practitioners gather for 7 days in a large, multifaceted festival known as the Starwood Festival. This annual celebration is a camping event presenting a series of workshops and small gatherings on a number of neo-pagan subjects. The festival also includes live music, New Age rituals, and of course, a massive bonfire. The Starwood Festival offers all kinds of rituals and workshops on various New Age subjects, including magic, folklore, activism, and various metaphysical and alternative lifestyles. The event is heavily influenced by cultural traditions and also features music and dancing from numerous foreign cultures. But the main event of the festival is the final night of the 7 days, which features fireworks, fire dancers, and laser music shows. Finally, a procession of ritualists gather for a gigantic bonfire that burns all night long. During each night before the final bonfire, smaller bonfires are held. Bonfire drummers stay up all night long for each night of the festival, beating their drums to the burning fire. The Starwood Festival began in 1981 by a student organization known as the Chameleon Club, which went on to establish the Association for Consciousness Exploration, which focuses on magic, alternative lifestyles, and metaphysics. Number 3. Onio Fire Festival. This fire festival that takes place during the winter in Fukuoka, Japan, is a tradition that goes back 16 centuries. The festival is one of the most influential fire festivals in Japan. It doesn't just feature one bonfire, it features 6 of them. Technically, these bonfires are torches, but they aren't just any torches. These torches are 13 meters long and release large and hot blazes. The ceremony is meant to expel dark spirits and is absolutely incredible to behold. The focal point of the event comes when 6 gigantic torches are set afire. While they burn, festival goers climb atop them and dance in a wild frenzy. As the torches burn, they release hot ash and embers into the air that can land on attendees and burn them, while the ash and embers are considered to be lucky. As the festival is located near the Daizenji Shrine, the 6 torches are constructed and cared for by the shrine's 6 neighboring communities. The Daizenji Shrine is a historic and government-protected cultural asset where a number of Japanese Shinto gods are worshipped. Impressively, each of these massive torches weighs more than 2,600 pounds and is made out of bamboo. The festival doesn't actually begin with the lighting of the 6 enormous torches. It begins with the lighting of a fire known as the Devil Fire, which is closely watched over for a period of 7 days. After these 7 days, the Devil Fire is moved by a parade to the torches, where they're set on fire. The 6 torches are then carried by the procession around the Daizenji Shrine before being set down at the shrine's edge. Number 2. Jeongwol Taborium. Known as Jeongwol Taborium, this fire festival is a massive celebration of one of the moons on the lunar calendar in Korea, which is believed to be the biggest and most fortuitous moon of the year. During this ancient festival, Koreans gather to carry out traditions in hopes of a bountiful year. The main event of the fire festival is a massive bonfire known as the Taljip. These bonfires, which are generally made out of straw, are built along beaches in Busan, far away from any civilization that could be threatened by the hot blazes. The bonfires are built in tall triangular shapes that form house-like structures pointing up to the full moon. In addition, the east sides of the house structures contain small doors through which the moon may enter. According to Korean tradition, when the moon is rising, the triangular pile of straw is set on fire to fend off any evil spirits and to bring about a prosperous year to come. As the bonfire blazes, people perform a tradition known as Jisinbalji, where they stomp on the ground to please the god of the earth in hopes of bringing about a bountiful harvest. But this festival once held a controversial history. During 1970s Korea, Jeongwol Taborium was outlawed by the government as part of a fire safety and prevention initiative. After public outcry, the festival was reinstated in 1997 and is now celebrated all over the country, but primarily in Busan. Number 1. Guy Fawkes Night. On November 5, 1605, a group of English Catholics attempted to assassinate King James I in London in an infamous event that came to be known as the Gunpowder Plot. The group sought to re-establish the Catholic monarchy which had been pushed out in favor of the Church of England. The plan was to blow up the British Parliament on its state opening. Perhaps the most well-known of the anti-government Catholics involved in the gunpowder plot is Guy Fawkes, who was in charge of the gunpowder stockpile being stored underneath the House of Lords in London. You may have seen this rendition of Guy Fawkes, also known as the Guy Fawkes mask. Since it was created, it's become a popular symbol of protest and is often associated with the online hacktivist group known as Anonymous. But the stylized depiction isn't all that Guy Fawkes and the gunpowder plot inspired. Every November in the United Kingdom, people gather to observe a commemoration of the gunpowder plot. During this annual festival, which began with the survival of King James I, people in London lit bonfires in commemoration. The bonfire tradition continues every year to this day. And while there isn't a single massive monumental bonfire like in many of the bonfires on this list, there are countless different bonfires, all centered around the events of 1605. Its main event is generally an effigy of Guy Fawkes that is burned at the center. One of the largest celebrations of Guy Fawkes Night takes place in the town of Lewes, Sussex, where revelers burn effigies of various modern figures in addition to Guy Fawkes.
Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.